All right, welcome back to the channel. If you're just joining me for the first time, welcome. Today I'm going to take a look at the Nidage or Nidage, I don't know, however you say it. This is a wireless inspection camera. It's advertised on Amazon as a borescope. Every other model is called an endoscope, which sounds a little bit close to the medical community. This is the way it arrives, basically. I got this as a Christmas present for my wife. And we're going to use this. I'm going to use this on some firearms. That's what it's advertised to do. You can inspect the bore in the chamber. Nice alternative to a light. You also use it for other applications around the house or automotive repairs, that sort of thing. But for my purposes, mainly I'm going to use it on firearms unless I have like a clogged sink or something that I can quickly diagnose. So what you get in the box, this has already been opened. Obviously, you've got a universal USB charger for the camera. This is the camera itself. I haven't quite figured out what this orange thing is. I think it's a measurement tool. This, in case you need to measure how long your barrel is, your instructions. It's pretty straightforward. When it came, it had the mirror on the end of the camera. I took that off, explained some pieces, some component, yep, there it is, position of any damage in the rifle, so that you can measure something out. So the way this thing works is you download an app. Like a lot of knockoff Chinese technology right now, I've noticed wireless technology, it does use Wi-Fi, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So here's what the thing looks like itself. I hadn't measured this. It looks like it's about 4 feet, close to it. Got some buttons here. This powers it on. There's two LEDs right here on the center of the handle. Guess you gotta hold it for a minute. Okay, there it goes. There's the green. And then this knob adjusts the brightness of the lights on the camera itself. You can take a snapshot with that button. The blue indicator, which is not illuminated right now, is for connectivity. And it does, like I said, it does connect to Wi-Fi, so instead of Bluetooth. Must be cheaper to run a component to run Wi-Fi instead of Bluetooth. So, all right, let's get a firearm out or two and let's check it out and see what it looks like. So my setup is I'm going to use my iPad. You can certainly do this with a phone, iOS or Android, but I'm going to use the tablet just because the display is bigger and I'll be able to see the details a little bit better. I'm going to use my iPad and I'll just connect the camera. It is in Wi-Fi mode right now. I've already got the app downloaded onto my iPad. So first things first, let's get the firearm clear. And I would think that it would be easier to disassemble all the images on Amazon. I guess it's people that don't really own firearms, aren't that firearm savvy. All the images like have an actual gun and then the scope going down into the bore. So talk on that note, this is some kind of flexible, I don't know, flexible conduit, I guess would be the best way to describe it. I'm not an electrician, so I can't really tell. It's a flexible wire. The box manufacturer claims it is somewhat waterproof rated against moisture and whatnot. If you hold the camera extremely close, it picks up details fairly well. You can see the manufacturer stamps and markings very well. It struggles a little bit with the glare from the LEDs, in this particular case with the sheen against the black color. The next image is going into the bore from the front of the weapon towards the chamber. I was a little nervous about showing this to the world, and it turns out it will tell on you. I do carry this Glock regularly, so you can see the dust and the fuzz from clothing. I haven't cleaned this one since the last time I shot it, which has been a while. Here you can see the lens struggles a little to focus on the breech face as I adjust the light. I wasn't expecting 4K resolution on this camera, and to be honest, I'm just amazed at the portable technology enough to overlook a small flaw like that. Imagine 20 years ago saying that you could buy a portable personal camera like this for under $75. I think it's not only cool, but will end up being a pretty valuable tool over the years. For this sequence, I'm going to look at the Garand. Starting with the edge of the chamber, I work around the outside and having a look at the bolt channels in the magazine well. You'll notice that immediately the red outlining some of the components, that is actually grease. If you watch my other Garand breakdown videos, one of the kinds of grease that I use is actually colored red. The other thing that immediately stands out is the tremendous amount of wear visible in the moving action components. My Glock, if I remember correctly, is either a late Gen 2 or early Gen 3. By comparison, my Garand is a Springfield Armory 1.7 million serial number range, which is a summer of 1943 manufacture. I can't imagine 1943 after starting off with a loss at Kasserine Pass was a positive time in the country, but with the summer came the invasion of Sicily and General Patton to give some pride and discipline to the troops around the Mediterranean theater. But this video is about a small camera and not a history lesson. It is kind of difficult to not think about history when you have a Garand in front of you, though. Since I'm not a gun expert or a gunsmith, I'll admit that I'm surprised to see the rifling to appear shallow. Inspection with a bore light generally looks very pronounced. With my camera, they seem very worn. My friend and fellow YouTuber Atlantic Products has suggested on more than one occasion to swap the barrel for a newer one. Seems to me that that would be a good idea given the poor performance of this rifle at long ranges. It just seems like a project to put off for another day, though. Perhaps the appearance of the rifling has nothing to do with it. In the four corners of your main screen, you have sets of icons that represent a few functions within the app. Top left is a gear, which is settings. You can make some adjustments, including the resolution of the camera. I didn't notice much of a clarity change in the image when I changed the resolution scale. Bottom left changes the orientation of the display on your screen. I did use this a few times as I was sending the camera through the bore as it twisted around and went in circles. Center right and top is for capturing images, either still screenshots or movie recordings. I just used the iPad screen recording function for this video, however. Finally, bottom right is the gallery to go back within the app and review pictures and video. This is all personal preference, but I'd rather use my device as screen recording to save to the camera roll instead of this app's storage. Overall, I would say that this product is going to be useful, and I'm thankful I received it. I may do a follow-up on it in the future if there are serious flaws which I discover or any real breakthroughs. Thanks for watching, thanks for coming by, and I'll see you in the next one.